we are going to talk about Lexi Thompson. Don't exactly know why Lexi is playing this week, because it is not ideal scenario for a lady player to be playing this week, just because of the way the competition breaks down for the tour players.
Well, let's have a look at that, because Lexi Thompson got a sponsor's exemption into the tournament this week. She's the 7th female golfer to play in a PGA Tour event. Now, I just want to say this out of the gate, that we're huge supporters of the LPGA Tour and women's golf and them getting more money and more exposure. And you are one of the biggest advocates. You've got, personal relationships with Stacey Lewis, with Jarena Mendoza. You know a lot of them and, admire, respect their games. But the Lexi Thompson addition to the field this week, it doesn't sit that well with me, if I'm being honest. And I think it's a bit of a random addition.
Well, it is. And we always ask ourselves when they put a lady player into one of the events, what is in it for the lady player and what is in it for the golf fan? Well, Lexi Thompson going to Vegas. Well, let me start by saying, when Annika Sorenstam played in the tournament at Colonial, it was a 6,900-yard course. We hit a lot of irons off the tees. There's a lot of positioning around ravines at Colonial. So it worked really well for her game, and she almost made the cut when she played there. Lexi Thompson's the longest hitter on the ladies tour, but that only averages 270 yards on the ladies tour. That's way less this week in this field. I mean, I played with Sahith Theegala the other day at Champions. This guy hits the ball 305 yards average on tour, and he's ranked 50th. So Lexi's strength, of course, is driving her. She's at 270. She will be the shortest player by a mile in the Vegas tournament. I just don't see what's in it for the golf fan here, Diane. If she does do well, which I hope she does, are we looking as golf fans to see who can play well under pressure and secure their card for next year? Lexi's in there. What are we doing?
Well, what's in it for the golf fan, but what's in it for Lexi? And I saw Lisa Cornwell, who, again, I love to follow on social media, and I love the passion that she has for the LPGA Tour and for supporting women's golf and really putting it on the map. And she had said, I hope Lexi goes out there and has fun this week. But is that it? Is that all that's in it for her, is to go out and have a fun week? And is it really going to be that fun for her? She finished 5th last week, but she's not having a fantastic season. She's played 13 times. She's missed 8 cuts. She's sitting 91st on the money list for the LPGA Tour. I mean, I don't know, maybe it is going to be a great fun week for her, but I don't know. I thought, I'm the same as you. I can't see why it's happening right now at this time of year in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Fun is not the optimal word here. I think, when I think about Lexi, playing this tournament and there's a sponsor exemption involved, I feel like because there's so limited access to these players that are trying to keep their card, that spot should have went to somebody that had potential to lock up their job for next year. Lexi's got her job. She hasn't won on her tour in 5 years. As you said, she's ranked, what is she ranked this year on their tour?
Well, she's 91st on the money list. She's 25th in the Rolex ranking right now.
And maybe they put her in because she's a long hitter, but she's not a long hitter in this tournament. She's probably the shortest hitter by a mile. So, I don't get it on this one. I would like to, usually when they play a lady player, it's exceptional, having an exceptional season, and it captures the fans' imagination to see where a lady would stack up against the top field. Now, this is not even a top field. We don't have any of the top, almost hardly any of the top 20 in the world playing this tournament. So what happens anyway?
And people will argue that, the sponsors exemption, the sponsors can pick whoever, and it hasn't necessarily taken a spot away from someone else who's out there fighting for their career. But here's what I would argue with that is, I hope she goes out and plays well this week. I really do. And she's 2,500 to 1 to go and win down the very bottom of the odds board. And I would love her to go out and play well. I would love her to make the cut. However, what if by her making the cut, the guys that are T65 drop to T66 and miss the cut and don't get to play the weekend. And they're losing out on points when they're fighting for their tour cards to jump into that 125, even to get 126 to 150 and have conditional status on the tour for next season is huge. And like, what if that scenario happens? That's going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. I just don't think that this is the right tournament or the right time of year to be doing it. Especially it's the first time that the tour have this setup where they're running to this calendar year schedule and these events for the FedEx Vaults. First time they've done it. It's new for everyone. So I think we need to just focus on that and the fact that these guys who, as you say, had to take 5 weeks off and now they're in the third event, you know, they had to miss 2 weeks with a week off and then the Ryder Cup. They want some momentum. They want to get going and fight for their place on tour next season.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I'll finish with this. When Lexi goes out there, she's very popular with the men and the women.
Yeah.
And I just don't think she's going to get the sort of there'll be plenty of love and plenty of appreciation for Lexi's talent, but they won't be focused. The tour players won't be focused on it because they're so focused on keeping their own jobs.
Yeah.
That I think it won't be a cold shoulder for her, but it won't be. I don't think it's what the sponsors want. I don't know it. Obviously, they want her in the tournament, and that's great. But I just it's the wrong week, Diane. Yeah. It's the wrong time of year. Everybody is not mentally on the same board. There's guys that are freewheeling out there that are like, as you said, Aberg is freewheeling, Tom Kim. There's other guys that are tensed up trying to get their ticket. It's just tough time of year to be on tour.
You want to make some sort of a prediction as to where she's going to finish this week? She's 2,500 to 1 to win. Just
yeah, you know, we talked about Lexi at the top of the show. I just, you know, again, we don't know why, you know, the tournament sponsor. We don't know what it's in it for the golf fan. We're not even sure what's in it for Lexi. She will be the shortest hitter of this whole event, which is her strength. She hasn't played well this year on the LPGA. I just don't see her factoring at all, Diane. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to spin it on TV. Are we going to be looking at her relationship with the other players in her group, the distance, and how are they going to put it together, do you think?
I don't know. I was just going to check to see if the tee times were out yet, but I don't think they are. So I don't know who she's playing with, but who do you think they're going to put her with? Like, are they going to put her in a huge headline group with?
I don't think they can put her in a huge one as a sponsor invite. I think her category as a sponsor invite first 2 days doesn't get her to put her in a TV group. But hey, you never know these days with the tour. They could do whatever they want, I guess.